Would Barcelona and Real Madrid be dominating if they were in a league where all the teams are as powerful as them? Hello everyone and welcome to the What If League. This is episode 2 of the brand new series, the Super Leagues, and today I am focusing on the progress and the development of the 5 divisions and the cup competitions after the first week of games has been played. In episode 1, we have left off things after the first week of games in Super League 1, which is the top division in this experiment. If you are not aware of the rules and the context of the experiment, please make sure to check out episode 1. I will leave a link below in the description. Make sure that you are aware of what exactly are we looking at here. And on the screen right now, I'm showing the results from the first week of games. Now, moving to the next week of fixtures, we can see that on the 16th of August, we had quite the interesting games. Bayern Munich and Arsenal drew 1-1, while Dortmund and Inter also made a home draw 1-1. Juventus defeated PSG quite astonishingly 3-0. Manchester United drew with Chelsea. Real Madrid defeated Benfica 2-0, and Roma lost at home to Porto, while Tottenham lost at home to Barcelona. So this is just part of the second turn here. We see that also the fixtures of the third week have been played already on the 19th of August, where Arsenal lost to Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid lost to Tottenham, Barcelona defeated Juventus, Benfica and Dortmund drew, and Chelsea lost to Roma. So quite interesting results to me, at least. I was not expecting these turns of events. You can see that Liverpool lost to Napoli at home. Bayern Munich did not manage to win away to Porto, while Manchester United could not defeat Sevilla at home. Then PSG lost to Manchester City. Now let's quickly go and see the table at the moment in the Super League One, which is the top division. Barcelona are leading with 3 wins without any loss of points so far, while Real Madrid have drew 1 game, which puts them at second place. The worst team in the league so far is Milan, who did not manage to win any games, but they have played only 1 game and they are yet to actually catch up with the rest of the league. As you can see, later today is the game between Inter and Milan, which is the Milan derby, of course, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this one develops and what happens with the standings of both teams. At the moment, 2 players have scored three goals each: Gonzalo Higuain from Juventus and Luis Suarez from Barcelona. We can also see that Lionel Messi is the top-rated player, which is not really a big surprise. But this is a very interesting league to follow and see how it develops. Dropping down to Division 2, part of the first week fixtures have been played here. We can see that Villarreal is now leading after they have defeated Botafogo 3-0 away. Corinthians are second, Flamengo, Monaco, CSK Moscow, and Santos have also recorded wins. Now let's drop down to Super League 3. We see here that only a few matches have been played, with Feyenoord being the leader so far, defeating Wolfsburg quite comprehensively 4-0. Fluminense and Hoffenheim, and also this is Sao Paulo, I believe, have also managed to record wins in their first week. Dropping down to Super League 4, we see that Atlético Nacional, Köln, Vasco da Gama, Real Betis, Basel, Newcastle, and San Lorenzo have recorded wins, which puts them in the top positions in the league. Dropping down to the last league, here we have Atalanta losing against Genoa, Celtic and Mainz drawing, Club Brugge losing home to AZ Alkmaar, Deportivo losing unfortunately to Racing Club for them, Hertha Berlin winning 2-1 against Pachuca, Malaga defeating Sassuolo at home, and Stoke winning against West Ham 3-1. So this would be a very interesting division to follow as well. I think all 5 of these divisions actually are very odd and peculiar in their own ways, and it will be really interesting to follow the progress here. Let's move on also to the Super Cup, to the Super League Cup. Apologies, I just want to follow the first round and see if there are any surprises. On the right and left on the screen, you can see from which division the team is coming from, so that you can decide if this is considered an upset or not. So the first game actually is something that could be classified as an upset, where Basel from Super League 4 have defeated Leverkusen from Super League 3. This competition, the Super League Cup, is played with only one leg, which means that only one match is played, and it's the losing team is defeated. There will be no return game for Leverkusen to recover from that loss. What else do we have here? We have this is a very big surprise. So we see here that Espanyol have defeated Cruzeiro. Cruzeiro, unfortunately for them, have started with a loss in the cup competition, and they would not continue in this competition. This is a real big upset since Espanyol is placed in Super League 4, while Cruzeiro are in Super League 2. What else do we have? Internacional, unfortunately, from Super League 5 lost to Botafogo, so that's not really an upset. Leicester Boca Juniors. Now that could have been a wonderful game. Unfortunately, it ended 0-0 draw with penalties, penalty shootout, which the Argentinians Boca Juniors won. A very odd fixture, to be honest. Leicester Boca Juniors is not a game that is played every day. Mainz managed to defeat San Lorenzo, so this is another upset here that we have. Also, Newcastle lost to Atalanta, so Atalanta playing away from home and being from a lower division, they managed to defeat the Magpies, so very good performance from them to continue. What else do we have? Let's scroll down. Okay, Real Betis winning very comfortably 3-0 against Shakhtar Donetsk. This is so far, I think, the biggest upset. Real Betis are from Super League 4, while Shakhtar are from Super League 2. So this is a huge difference in their standings in the leagues, but Real Betis comfortably won 3-0. Classic victory for them. Real Sociedad defeating Corinthians is also a minor upset here. Sao Paulo winning against Santos is also something that we can consider an upset considering the divisions, although those teams are actually playing in the same league in reality. And Malaga defeating Torino away from home on penalties is also something that not everybody could have guessed that is going to happen. Now, before we move on, I just want to quickly follow also the transfers in the other leagues. So we'll start again from Super League 1 and then we're going to go down the list to Super League 5. So Super League 1, just wanted to sort everything based on fees. With Manchester United's transfer for Andrea Belotti still the highest transfer, the highest fee transfer. Let's see who else moved. I don't see any significant names here that have been added to the list, so no more major transfers have been made. A bit more on a free, a bit more players have been brought on a free, as well as some players have been loaned out. Dropping down to League 2, where Monaco have sold Radamel Falcao to Chelsea. This is something that we already know. Kasper Dolberg from Ajax has joined West Bromwich Albion for 40 million pounds. So this is interesting. West Brom, who are not involved in our experiment. They're still playing in the English Premier League, which I have no idea which teams it consists of at the moment, since a lot of the Premier League teams have been actually moved to these new divisions setup. But anyway, that's not of importance to us. We can see also that Feyenoord sold Tony Trinidad de Vilhena to Lyon. We know about the transfer for Fred from Shakhtar to Napoli. Yuri Medeiros has joined Real Sociedad from Sporting Lisbon. Alejandro Gamara has joined Shakhtar from Huracan. And the rest here are some minor transfers. You can see that the sums that have been tossed around are not that significant, but in terms of volumes of transfers, League 2 is much more active than Super League 1. Jordan Lukaku joined Espanyol on a loan. So this is quite interesting. I see that most probably there will be a lot of loans in these competitions. Moving down to Super League 3, the transfers here. The top transfer is Tom Davies. We know about Tom Davies. He joined Milan. Then we have Gustavo Scarpa from Fluminense being purchased by Marseille. Olympique Marseille have brought that player. Who else is here? Ben Chilwell has joined Leverkusen from Leicester. This is interesting. Sergio Canales has joined Atlas, so Real Sociedad sold him. Who else do we have? Most of these players are very unknown for me, so I cannot really comment on them. I would leave for you guys to have a look at this list and let me know if you see some names that are worth the discussion. I would love it to hear from you in the comments about the transfers and about the developments of the league. So don't be shy. I would love to discuss this experiment with you. Dropping down to Super League 4, this is where Torino are competing, and we see the transfer at the top for Andrea Belotti. Then we have Eric Peters, who has been sold from Stoke to Spartak Moscow. Cristiano Ramirez has joined Sporting Lisbon from Krasnodar. Miguel Veloso from Genoa has joined Galatasaray. Who else we have here that could be considered an interesting transfer? We have Jack Kovac being sold from Newcastle to Norwich. This is something that, for me at least, is peculiar. What else do we have? Fabrizio Coloccini. Fabrizio Coloccini, who is the ex-captain of Newcastle. Let me see, where did he go? From San Lorenzo to Estudiantes. So he has been transferred out of our Super Leagues. Matthew Target has joined Bordeaux on loan from Southampton. So you can see that very, very interesting transfers are taking place. Matthew Flamini has joined Kyon on a free transfer here. And all we know, the teams are trying to strengthen their first teams to be able to perform in this new division setup that we have, which I'm sure is going to be very, very demanding for all of them. Now dropping down to the lowest division here, Super League 5, we see that Kieran Tierney is the top transfer from Celtic. He's sold by Celtic, purchased by Stoke for £7 million. Wendell has joined Celtic on the other hand. Wendell is coming from Internacional and he's a left back, so he's a direct replacement for Kieran Tierney. Eric Peters transfers is here, as well as Miguel Veloso. Who else do we have that's interesting for us to follow? I'm not really sure. Ron Vlaar has joined Swansea from AZ Alkmaar. Ron Vlaar, for those of you that follow the Premier League, is a player that used to play for Aston Villa. Stephen Ireland has been sold by Stoke to Huddersfield. Mirko Vucinic has joined Mainz on a free. And I think that's pretty much it for the transfers for me. I'm not really familiar with most of those names, but I'll keep an eye on them as we progress, because I'm sure that it's going to be very, very interesting to follow them as we go along. Now I am going to fast forward another week into the future to see the next set of results and how the team league tables are forming up. All right, here we are, the 22nd and the 27th of August, which means that another week has passed, and let's move first to the Super League 1. We see that Barcelona are still leading the race here with 4 wins and no drop of points. And Inter Milan actually managed to win the Milan derby 3-0. You can see that they were quite uncompromising, I would say. Mauro Icardi scored 2 goals, with Eder also scoring the final goal in this game. And Milan resigned to a second defeat, which puts them into the last place of the league for the time being. But they have only played 2 games, so this is a situation they can easily climb out of. The next set of results was played on the 26th of August, which in the game was yesterday. Bayern Munich lost at home to Chelsea, Dortmund and Arsenal drew 1-1, Juventus defeated Atletico, Manchester City lost to Barcelona, Napoli lost to Inter, so Inter are actually quite strong, you can see them in 4th place here. Real Madrid defeated Porto, Manchester United won away to Roma, PSG drew away to Sevilla, and Tottenham drew to Liverpool at home. Luis Suarez is the top goal scorer of the league so far, with Lionel Messi still the top performing player. Let's now drop to the Super League 2 and see the developments there. Villarreal, Flamengo, Santos are leading this league with 2 wins each. So you can see that at the bottom of the table we have Atletico Mineiro, Botafogo and Lazio, who have all lost both of their games so far. Simone Zaza and Carlos Bacca are leading the goal scorers chart. We can see that Carlos Bacca is also the top performing player in this league. He has picked up 2 Player of the Match awards from 2 games, so very, very impressive from Carlos Bacca. He has scored 4 goals from 2 games, and those are actually 66% from the goals scored by his team so far. The most significant results: Atletico Mineiro lost to Valencia at home 0-4, so this is quite the big loss. And we also have Villarreal beating Ajax 4-1, so this is also very interesting. Ajax are not performing very well in this league, which is not something that surprises me too much. If you check out my channel, there is an experiment that was requested by a viewer where Southampton were swapped with PSV Eindhoven, which means that Southampton went to the Dutch Eredivisie while PSV joined the Premier League. Southampton were easily champions 4 years in a row, while PSV did not manage to perform that well in the English league. But I'll leave the rest of the story to you guys if you want to check it out. I will actually leave a link below in the description. Going further down, Super League 3, we can see here that Schalke and Hoffenheim, the German teams, are dominating this league so far early days with 2 wins out of 2 games. Copa America, Borussia Mönchengladbach and Chivas have also recorded 1 win and 1 draw. At the bottom, we see that there are 4 teams that lost both of their games: Cruz Azul, Olympiacos, Real Sociedad, and River Plate. And we see that Besiktas still have a chance to get out of this uncomfortable position here. Luke de Jong, Franco Di Santo, Darwin Quintero, and I imagine even more players have scored 2 goals, while Aderlan Santos is the top performing player. He is a player of Sao Paulo. I'm not familiar with that name. Let me see. He's a central defender, and he is a very balanced central defender, an experienced one, 28 years old, no international caps, but probably if he performs well, he might earn one. We'll see also how these things develop with the lower leagues if they manage to put their players in front of the national team head coaches, and maybe they will be selected for the upcoming games and tournament. Let's now see what is happening one division below at Super League 4, where Atlético Nacional, Real Betis, and Tigres are the top performing teams that have won both of their starting fixtures. On the other end of the table, Anderlecht, Nice, and Celta Vigo are the worst performers. They have lost both of their fixtures. In this Super League 4 division, we can see that actually the South America teams, Atlético Nacional and Tigres, are doing quite well. It's going to be very interesting also to follow how the South American teams are performing against the European teams, and also we have some teams from lower leagues that I'm not sure would be able to compete financially in terms of wage and transfer budget with the other teams in the league. But this is something that is only going to be a problem in the first few years afterwards because of the somewhat equal pay that all of them are going to receive. I think it's going to balance out and it's going to be very, very interesting to follow and see how it progresses. In Super League 4, Nicolas Nkulu from Torino and Takumi Minamino from Red Bull Salzburg are the top performing players with 8.4 average rating so far. Nicolas Nkulu, I'm not sure if this is a Torino player. No, he has been loaned from Lyon, so this is another new transfer, and we are going to check the transfers next week when actually the transfer window closes, and we know that those have been the final transfers. Now, going to the last league in our focus, the Super League 5, we see here that Genoa, Sampdoria, and AZ Alkmaar are leading the way with 2 wins each from each of their opening fixtures, while on the other side of the table, Sassuolo and Atalanta unfortunately have lost both of their games and find themselves at the bottom of the table. This player, Federico Santander, my apologies, I was not familiar with the name, that's why I needed to open the profile. Federico Santander for FC Copenhagen is the top performing player in the league. He's their own player. He's not been transferred. We can see that surprisingly Kevin Wimmer from Stoke is the top assist maker in the league so far with 3 assists against his name. This is very, very surprising to me at least, and we'll see if he manages to keep this positive stat up during the season. Meanwhile, the Super League trophy competition has already started, and we can have a look here what happened and who defeated who. Maybe there would be some interesting turn of events. As you can see, Stoke actually managed to pull an upset after defeating Anderlecht away from home with 2 goals, one from Seydou Berahino and one from Choupo-Moting. Then we also have, so Besiktas victory is not that surprising, but Bordeaux defeating Boca Juniors is quite something. So we can see that Bordeaux from Super League 5 defeated Super League 3 contenders Boca Juniors. Who else defeated some higher placed teams? Celtic managed to win against Olympiacos. Celtic are in the lowest Super League 5, while Olympiacos find themselves in Super League 3. Another interesting turn of events here. Then we have Pachuca managing to defeat Cruz Azul Oh, this is very, very interesting. A local derby. So Pachuca defeated Cruz Azul on penalties, and Pachuca is placed in the Super League 5, while Cruz Azul find themselves in Super League 3. So an interesting development here. Deportivo also from the fifth league managed to defeat Fluminense. We have Frankfurt defeating Pumas, also a minor upset. Genoa defeating Espanyol. So very, very interesting turn of events here. A lot of surprises, I would say, in quotation marks, since those teams are all top teams, and I wouldn't necessarily call them underdogs and favorites. Maybe in some cases it makes sense, but in general, they are very closely placed in the reputations table, so that shouldn't be really that much of a surprise. Let's see if we have something interesting along the way, where we have interesting draws. Monterrey Krasnodar was probably a very nice game to watch. It's a game that I wouldn't expect to happen in any other circumstances but this experiment. We also see Sassuolo defeating after extra time Internacional. So this is again a very a cool game to watch. Schalke lost to Racing Club, so this is a major upset, I would call it. Racing Club are from the lowest division, while Schalke is in Super League 3, and they lost at home 1-3 against their visitors. Who else do we have continuing? And let's see the next set of fixtures that were played in the very next day. Copenhagen defeated Alkmaar, Atlético Nacional defeated River Plate, and Sampdoria beat Chivas. Now, the next fixtures are going to be played on the 4th of October. Let's see the other cup competition here. This is the top leagues competition, where only Super League 1 and 2 are actually participating, and it started with loss by Ajax at home to CSK Moscow 1-3. Then Zenit defeated Botafogo on penalties. Cruzeiro win against Lyon. Dynamo Kiev eliminated Atletico Mineiro. Lazio won against Corinthians, who had a player sent off early in the game. Shakhtar eliminated Santos, and we can see also Grêmio won against Palmeiras. Villarreal defeated Sporting Lisbon. So very, very interesting games have been played, and I'm sure that this trend is going to continue in the future as well. Just going to the job security page, and we see that we already have managers that are fearing for their position. We see that Claudio Biagio from San Lorenzo is under review. They are currently 10th in their Super League 4, so this is very interesting. By the way, it would be very, very difficult to judge performance and expectations in these new divisions. So I do hope that the board members would be lenient with their new circumstances and their new surroundings, and would not fire their coaches immediately, because it's very, very difficult to compete when everybody around you in the same league is at your level in terms of reputation. Probably some of the teams are stronger in terms of financial power. Just sorting the same list on finances, we can see that only 3 teams have somewhat problems with their finances, and those are Fenerbahce, Botafogo, and Vasco da Gama. Hopefully, after the first season, they would be stabilized, or they would actually go into a worse condition. We'll see how it goes and how things evolve. And with that, I think that's it for this video, guys. If you haven't seen part 1 of this experiment, please make sure to do so. I would leave a link in the description below so that you can check it out. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe or follow my channel if you haven't already. That way you're going to receive notifications for when I upload new videos. In the meantime, you can also check out my social media. There will be links in the description waiting for you. Let me know what you guys think about the Super Leagues and about this experiment in general. And I would love to focus on your favorite team. So if you want me to make a specific focus on a team in particular or in a league in particular, please drop me a comment. I would love to hear from you, and we can discuss how this thing evolves. Thank you once again for watching. Until the next time, bye.